Hi. So I accidentally bought a fake iPhone charger on Amazon thinking it's a real thing. This is part of the way Amazon is structured, and I just didn't catch it at checkout, but they usually have a page for the item, and then you get the cheapest supplier of that item, which in this case was fake. It cost $3, and so in hindsight that was kind of stupid, but like I said, I didn't catch it at checkout. But I thought I'd do a video of what's inside these things and why you really shouldn't use them. They're poorly designed and they're dangerous. So let's take one apart. If you look closely, yeah, it does not say made by Apple, listed power supply. I bet that serial number isn't even unique. So this is a fakie. And shake it. Yeah, that is really fake. And here I have the real one. This is a little bit dirty. It was in my bag, but it's much better build quality. You can see that green dot is actually put on a lot better. That actually, there's a recall on these, and they had to replace them, and so that's what the green dot means, it's replaced. And funnily enough, that recall was because these pins, these power plug pins, would come out like so and stay in the wall. So obviously that's not what this one means, but this came out quite easily almost immediately after it got out of the packaging. And the packaging itself actually looked a lot like the Apple packaging. It had this, white bag, and it came wrapped in this little peel-off thing. This is how the real ones come. And this is actually the real one here. And then in this little bag, I mean, it was very well done. I thought it was genuine right up until I took it out and looked at the back, and yeah, the first thing I noticed was the green dot looked too fuzzy. That I've seen enough of these that I can just tell if they're fake from that green dot. So let's get this thing open and see what isn't inside of it. Yep, pops right out. So let's see if we can get under this casing. I really don't know what to expect under there. So I have it here under the macro lens, and you can see what the writing here is on better detail. And look at how fuzzy that green dot is. That obviously wasn't put on there with some kind of paint injector like the real one was. And kind of interesting that there's no design by Apple in California like some fake ones I've seen or seen online, or I saw one that said designed by California. Obviously not true. I really like the listed power supply, not UL listed power supply, it is listed power supply, and then the 54 PTE233 whatever, that's on the real one as well, but I don't know what it means, and they probably don't either. So I'm not really sure how to take a crack at opening this. There's really nothing yet. A tool under, maybe I can try prying around the edges with the knife. Who knows, maybe I can try pushing in from the front through the USB port. I don't know. Let's give it a try. So I got it open, this thing just sort of popped off, and the first thing I noticed is these wires are really thin. That can't be safe for mains, and they're really close together, and it looks like they're going straight into this package. It looks like a really thin dip. I guess that must be the bridge rectifier? Who knows? Kind of interesting to have a full bridge rectifier, I guess. That I think a lot of these just have a single diode, and look how close that transistor is. That's pretty awful. I don't... This is pretty badly done. Oh my god, look, there's just a signal diode in there. Ooh, I don't know if that's just being used as a signal diode, but that's definitely not for power. At least it's not supposed to be. So this is just held in with some little retaining clips in there. You can see the little notch and then the little clips coming out there. And just clips in, no glue, just no adhesive at all. And that's, if this thing falls apart on you, and you've got mains wires, and you can't pull it out easily because you've got these exposed wires. So these weren't held in with much of anything at all. I don't even think they were molded together. I think this plate was made, and then these were inserted through, and then soldered rather badly onto there, and there's nothing keeping these in, but just sheer mechanical frictional force. There actually is what might be glue, might be flux residue left behind on this plastic backplate. So maybe they were thinking of that. They realized, maybe we have to glue these in, or maybe it's just flux residue. Who knows? From the person who soldered this in, and I think it's actually a little bit melted from soldering it in, so it's rather crap. And it's got a U there. Who knows what that stands for? Useless. If you look at the underside of this board, there's nothing going on. There's no passive surface mount components on the bottom, like you might see. There is this slot here, but that's not an isolation slot. That's actually the support pin for this USB port. So that's got no support on that side, and they didn't have any room for a pad, so they just stuck it right through there and support it on the other side. And I really don't trust this thing. I would not trust this with my phone, because there's no spacing in here for anything. There's, I can't even see any primary, secondary side isolation there. They do have some tin traces here for better current handling, but that's about it. If you follow the traces, you can actually see coming in here through that bridge rectifier, going over here. This one actually jumps across there through the transformer there, but it also comes down here, goes through a mauve, goes through here. So this is actually the primary side there. That is full 120, 240 volts right there in those two little wires. And that's coming in here, and I mean, there is no spacing. There's actually some solder flux in there between those two pins. But it comes awfully close to these two wires, which I believe are the secondary side, because they're coming back from this optocoupler, which is what's right here, right there. And, they've got filtering caps, but it's probably bare minimum to get what an iPhone would even accept. But some people have reported that you use these counterfeit ones with an iPhone and the touchscreen will stop working because it messes up the timing because of all the high frequency noise and the power. They screw with everything, and I didn't plug anything into this. I don't trust it. I do not trust this thing at all. I might re-solder these pins over here and plug it in and then isolate and everything and see the voltage or something, but it's really something. Again, this transistor and this resistor and this mauve are all really close together, Oh, it's a 0 ohm resistor. Well, what's that doing? Hold on, what's going on there? I think that's just jumping nothing. Yeah, it certainly looks like a 0 ohm resistor, except the band is at the bottom, so I wonder if it's some sort of weird diode package, because if it is a jumper, then this is just the unprotected form of this pin here. And that seems unlikely, and it comes back around here to the power transistor here. So I think that's some sort of weird diode package. I've never seen something like that. look how close that trace gets to the edge and how thin it becomes. And remember, that's the primary side. That's the full 120 240 mains voltage coming in there to be switched very quickly by this transistor here. And I mean, that is way too thin right there. And these capacitors, this tall one is an SD brand. Never heard of it. And this is a Chengxing with an X in it. It's kind of cut off top and bottom there, but yeah, I never heard of that either. Probably that, mix and match. It's what they could get for the cheapest price. So overall, this has been why you do not just buy stuff blindly on Amazon, because you will get fakes, and I don't trust this at all. If you want something that you know will work and you know won't kill you, go to an Apple store, hand over your $30, get one of these, get one on eBay used, or buy something from a brand that is cheaper but you know won't be crap, because this is crap. So the reason why these are so dangerous is that if you had this plugged into the wall and then you went to unplug it and this just fell out, now you've got an exposed contact in a wall outlet. And if you have both, that's even worse, because now you have both potentials there at high voltages, and you can seriously hurt yourself if you touch those with both hands, because now the current's going through your heart. It can stop your heart, and it can kill you. So the green dot, there was a recall on these where exactly what I just described happened, where the pins would come out. And so the way Apple fixed this is that the metal actually has a flange. It's actually embedded and it's sandwiched into the plastic, so these won't come out without the whole thing just falling apart. And these are well built. I think they're made of ABS. I don't know. Yeah, probably ABS. Knowing Apple, these are very safe. The fake ones are not. So I think I'm gonna desolder some of these components. The capacitors are crap. I have enough of them already. Optical coupler is probably fine. A little bridge rectifier, at least that's what I think it is. I'll probably test that and see. Transformer probably just good for wire, and a USB connector, because nobody could ever have enough USB connectors and diodes. But honestly, I don't trust any component in here. This is all as cheap as possible to bring this down to a price.